What's going on, everyone? Today we are going to talk more in depth about the Purgatory exploration and the ultimate trial. But before, let me introduce you my new video interface. Yes, the screen is going to be smaller, but I'm not going to hide it anymore. Let me know what you think about that in the comment below. As well, I'm going to show you the important informations right above my head, such as new codes to redeem in game. When we are going to have them, I'm going to write them at the top of my head. On the left of the video, you can see my ID Discord, so if you have any question, feel free to contact me. I'm gonna try to answer to you. Finally, you have Aptoide. If you want to save some money, I'm gonna write the promotion days all the time when I'm gonna have them, so you are not gonna ask me anymore when do we have the 5% extra cashback and when my promo code is gonna be active. Also, I'm gonna write it at the left, so you're gonna have all the information you need. If you like that interface, or if you want me to go back to the previous one, I'm gonna listen to you. After all, I'm making content for you, so if you don't enjoy that new interface, I'm gonna change it and use the previous one. So the content refreshed for the first time. It means that now our heroes are not locked anymore, and that's perfect because the way to purge the content is gonna be to switch the heroes week after week in every dungeon, so you are gonna get more stars. I think this is gonna work that way. On the previous week, I was able to clear the stage 23 of the first dungeon, 20 on the second one, 22, 25, 28, and 25 again. Every boss is gonna do the same, exactly the same, but to deal damage to them, you need different source of damage. For example, the first one, you can deal damage only using poisons. On the second one, internal injuries. This is why that boss is a bit harder than the other ones. Then bleeds on that one, HP burnings on that one, direct damage over there, and burning damage at the end. First of all, I'm gonna concentrate on the mechanic of the different bosses, and then I'm gonna show you the teams I used. So first of all, you need to understand the kind of heroes you need to use on every team to face every bosses in that content. First of all, you need a 7 wand. If you don't have one, every time the boss is gonna use the ultimate, he is gonna heal 50% of his health and the health of every minions in front. If you have a 7 wand, it doesn't matter the level, you can use a 7 wand 1 or 2, it doesn't matter. If you have that on the boss before he uses the ultimate, he is not gonna heal anyone. Then you are gonna need a shielder. Otherwise, when the boss is gonna use the basic attack, he is gonna remove all the buffs from all your heroes and reflect all the debuffs he has on himself on your heroes. And during the fight, you are gonna inflict some dots to deal damage to the boss, so if you don't have a shield when the boss is gonna use the basic attack on your hero, then your hero is gonna take all the poisons you have in front, and maybe the 7 wand as well. Third thing you need to have on your team, many buffs. To avoid taking too much damage at once, you need at least 3 different types of buffs on all your heroes before the boss uses the first active skill. And then of course, you need the damage type of the boss. And here it's poisons. So to summarize, you need shields, at least 1 7 wand, 3 or more types of buffs, and the corresponding source of damage. And then you need something more. AoE controls or AoE big damage to kill the ads or to control them. Because every time they are going to take a turn, they are going to use the basic attack. And every time they use the basic attack, they are going to get 1 layer of malice. When they have 3 layers, every time they are going to attack your heroes, they are going to remove all the buffs, imprison your hero, and add block buff on your hero. And if you have block buff, good luck to survive. You can't apply a shield on your heroes anymore, or defensive buffs, so it's gonna be super hard. The boss and every enemy is immune to speed down. You can't block their revival, and you can't reduce their turn meta. And finally, there is something more to take into account. Every time the boss is gonna take an action, a turn in fact, he is gonna get a unique buff increasing his attack by 20% for each layer. Then there is something that I don't really understand. It says that when there are less than 3 ally heroes with the designated tag survive, the boss is gonna get 5 layers of that unique buff directly. I firstly thought that if 3 heroes would stay alive after the boss take an action, he would get directly 5 layers of original sin. But in fact, if I run the fight, as you can see the minions were alive, he got only 1 layer. So let me know in the comment below if you understood that. I'm gonna pin your comment to the video. When the boss reaches 60 layers of original sin, he is gonna one-shot all your heroes. Something else, you can't inflict more than 5% of the boss health in one attack. And that's why Indra cannot one-shot the boss. One more thing, the boss has 95% crit rate and 250% crit damage. And the minions have a 50% crit rate and 150% crit damage. So maybe it's gonna be a good idea to lower in AoE the crit rate of enemies and their crit damage. Who knows? Every time you kill a minion, you are gonna deal 2% of the boss health in damage. And if you can inflict 10 layers of poison on that boss, for example, or bleeds on another one, every time you are gonna inflict an extra dot of the same type on the boss, he is gonna take 30% more attack damage. So that's probably a way to kill the boss faster. Okay, I think I covered all the strategy around the different bosses. Now I'm gonna show you the teams I used. Stage 23 on Lust with that poison team. And yes, I'm using a Maguire inside. He is only exclusive 1. It would be better if he was exclusive 2. He would provide on my heroes a bigger shield. In fact, Maguire is a good hero because every time he's gonna get hit, he has a chance to inflict a silver wound to the target, and he can inflict one using the ultimate on every enemy, and he is a shielder as well. So this is a good hero for that content. And then I'm using every poisoners in that team. MacD to apply a big shield on my heroes and to heal them. You need a lot of healing effect on him and to have the exclusive 3, so he's gonna start to heal all your heroes every time they are gonna apply a poison layer on the boss. And you have a pretty good heals with that. Zora to reduce the attack of all enemies by 40% using the first active skill and then to deal more poison damage. Dakota to revive my heroes 1 time per wave thanks to the exclusive 2, and this is a passive, so that's pretty strong. And she's gonna increase my speed by 40% thanks to the first exclusive and my attack by 40% thanks to the third exclusive. MacD can also apply a consolidation 2 on my heroes for 3 turns. That's a unique buff, and he can increase the poison damage of my heroes. And finally you have Nita. She is there to deal high damage and to apply many layers of poisons on every enemy. I'm using that Spirit Beast as well. You can unlock him in that dungeon and deal more poison damage to enemies. Of course, be careful when you clear a stage because the heroes you used are gonna be locked for the entire week. So let me show you that team how it works. I'm running the fight in auto. This is the stage 23. Attack down 40% on everyone. Resistance down thanks to Dakota. It's gonna help me to place poison layers on enemies. And Silver Wound thanks to Maguire. As you can see, I'm taking a lot of damage and the boss is reviving the ads. But I'm able to kill them. This is one of the strongest team we can have today. You have really high damage on ads thanks to Nita, and you can kill them. They are never gonna be able to remove your buffs. And I lost almost all my heroes. Dakota revived my Nita, but she died again. So you need to retry until you can clear the fight. That's what I did to clear that stage. Then of course you can use different heroes if you have limited heroes. If you want to push a bit more that content, maybe a Lydia is gonna help you. Okay, now let's have a look to the second one, and in my opinion this is probably the hardest one. For that one, last week I was trying that team and I had the best result using that team. In fact, I was really close to beat that stage, but I couldn't use that Spirit Beast because I already used it in another team. But that time I'm gonna use that, okay? So let me explain the team. First of all, I have Atkins and she is an amazing hero for that content. Big shield on your heroes, ice consolidation, so it's a 3 turns consolidation on your heroes. You are gonna take less damage, 30% less when you have the ice consolidation thanks to her exclusive 2 if I remember correctly. Then Ben Austin to make my heroes pursue the target, so with the basic attack I can have the Silver Wand with my Fiona. I'm gonna have many controls thanks to both Fiona and Dianmu on her ultimates. And so every 10 control inflicted on enemies, I'm gonna get some heals thanks to Fiona. She can revive my heroes as well and heal on the basic attack. So you need a high effect hit to stun enemies and a high healing effect on her. And then she's gonna be super strong to maintain your heroes alive thanks to the pursuit of Ben Austin. Finally, Indra, to apply a shield on my heroes and to deal high damage to the boss, because good luck to find a hero who deals enough damage to the boss without Indra. Yes, you can inflict only 5% of max HP on the boss at once, but thanks to Ben Austin, Indra is gonna deal high damage. And Dianmu can increase a lot the turn meta of my heroes and stun enemies, so that's a pretty good team. But I have one weakness with that team. My Indra is gonna lose buffs really often because he acts multiple turns in a row. That's why on my Dianmu, on the smart casting, I banned that skill after the first usage. Otherwise, she's gonna take multiple turns, she's gonna die super fast. Okay, so there we go. And Atkins is also great because she can lower the crit rate by 50% and apply Cold too, lowering the skill damage of the boss by 40%, so I have a better survivability using that. And look at the efficiency of the Prior Beast. Only 1 star, level 35, and look at all the heals and the shields I'm getting on my heroes. Maybe it's gonna make the difference, and I'm gonna be able to beat that stage that time. 50% HP remaining on the boss already. So now some minions are gonna have 3 layers of malice and they are gonna start removing my buffs. And this is bad. Okay, so for now it's way easier than before, only because I'm using that Spirit Beast. I have another buff on my heroes thanks to that Spirit Beast, the shield, and it helps me to stay alive. And I lost my Indra. Is it gonna work? My Fiona is gonna revive him, but I need to survive for that. Almost done. Okay, my Indra is alive for now. 3% health remaining on the boss, and I'm gonna lose. Are you serious? Come on, you just need another attack. Okay, I got some heals, another shield. The boss is dead. Am I gonna be able to kill Yaz? I think yes. There we go, only 2 minions left. Okay, it's gonna be okay. I'm 100% safe now. They can't deal enough damage to me, only 1 remaining. But if I lose my Indra, it's gonna be a bit harder to beat the odds. Okay, stage cleared, 21, pretty nice. Now, on grid, I was able to clear the stage 22 using that bleed team. His arrow is gonna be a great help here. He can apply a silver wand on the boss, but for that, you are gonna need a crazy amount of effect hits because you don't want to miss the silver wand. Otherwise, the boss is gonna heal and you are never gonna kill him. I used Seth to have a shield and more heals on my heroes, and Ripple 2 to deal a bit more damage. Chardonnay to have more shields on my heroes, to lower the attack of the boss by 40%, to increase the speed of my heroes by 40% as well, and to increase the bleed damage taken by the boss and inflict a lot of bleeds on the boss. Grace to consolidate my heroes and heal them and deal nice AoE damage, and increase the bleed damage of my heroes. And Valentina, I regressed my Dharma to use her instead because I already have a good direct damage teams. I don't need Dharma anymore, and yes, for that team you need crazy bleeders, and she is by far the best one because she can also freeze enemies and increase the bleed damage of your entire team. And I'm using that Spirit Beast to deal bleed damage to enemies as well. The only hero I'm gonna replace in that team in the future is gonna be Seth. Maybe by Nordak to have more shields on my heroes if I want to push a bit more the content, or maybe by another hero, maybe a Lydia in the future, who knows. So let's try to see how it works. Attack down 40%. I also have Cold 2 and Wet 2 sometimes on the boss thanks to Seth, so I'm gonna have less damage to tank. And thanks to Valentina, I also have less attack on the boss. She inflicts the same debuff as Little Jack. And so that's pretty strong to stay alive longer, but look at that. Look at that. Stage 22, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Over time, Grace is gonna have more feathers on her and she's gonna start dealing more damage to enemies. And so generally I kill them when they have 3 layers of malice. Okay, I didn't have any shield at all, and look at that. So I need to change my smart casting, otherwise it's not gonna work anymore. So I'm gonna do that later. Then on that boss, you need to use HP burnings. And that's the team I used. Sun Wukong, but be careful because the shield of Sun Wukong is a unique shield and it's not gonna prevent you from the buff removal and the debuff reflection. Because if you check the basic attack of the boss, it's excluding unique shields. And so that's the team I used. More damage on my heroes thanks to Nicholas exclusive 3. I have an extra life on them as well thanks to that. I have a speed buff on my heroes thanks to Guhana, and the Sever Wand thanks to Guhana as well, and HP burning damage thanks to Mamelo and Hijin. So let's check that. By the way, try to always put the focus on the boss when you turn the fight in auto. Otherwise you are gonna miss the Sever Wand. Deep HP burning too thanks to Mamelo. I have a high healing effect on my Guhana so she can protect my heroes. So I'm not gonna continue for now because I want to save some of my heroes and try a bit more, but this is the spirit of the team. That one was the easiest for me because I used all my broken heroes. You can use your Megan if you want to inflict Sever Wand on the boss with the basic attack, it's gonna work, and she is also gonna increase the crit rate of all your heroes, so you are gonna deal more damage thanks to that. But that's not what I used. This is the hero I used instead, the Chanel. She is gonna apply a Sever Wand with the first active skill, and she doesn't need any effect hit for that. And of course I'm gonna have a ton of extra damage thanks to that, so that's the stage 29, and even using that I wasn't able to push higher than that. I have many controls on the ads, but the boss is gonna deal high damage to my heroes. I'm lacking buffs in fact sometimes, and you are gonna see that I'm gonna die. Over time, my Jingle Bell is gonna have more damage, so she's gonna kill the ads faster and they won't have the 3 layers of malice and remove my buffs all the time. And there we go, everyone died, got one shot. I need to think about something different to lower the attack, crit rate, crit damage of the boss, just replace one hero maybe, and then it's gonna be better. So this is the team I used so far, and I was able to clear the stage 28 using that. And finally, for the last one, that's the team I used. But in that team, I used the Prior Beast. I had a ton of heal and shields thanks to the Prior Beast in that team, and I was able to survive. I used the Feast because he is a burner hero. He is gonna increase passively the burn damage of my team, and he can apply a Sever Wand on enemies. And so that was a great team to use in there. I was taking a lot of damage, but sometimes I was getting the heal and the shield of my Prior Beast, some heals and cleans thanks to Luna, and the damage immunity of my Jack and Roll. And I have the permanent consolidation too thanks to Lydia, so it's a bit safer using that. Stage 26, and for now I'm able to survive the first attacks of the boss. And thanks to Luna, I'm gonna have many buffs on my heroes as well, so it's pretty cool for that content. And by the way, she can passively reduce the attack of the boss by 40% when she takes some hits, so it's pretty strong too. And just in case, she can revive my heroes. And the boss healed because he didn't have the Sever Wand in time. So I have to set that correctly and then retry. So now you know what I used to obtain 143 stars, 44 today because I was able to get one extra. I spent an entire day trying to push that content to try to get the 150 stars, because once you reach 150 stars, you are gonna get an extra of these. But hey, I wasn't able to. That content is super hard, but week after week we can retry different teams with the strongest heroes on every bosses and progress through that content. So now let's talk about the ultimate trial. These are the teams I used. In fact, you can use every source of damage, just use the best ones you have. Something really important to have in mind when you face that boss, use your strongest team in third position. And it's pretty easy to understand, every time the boss is gonna act one turn, he is gonna get extra stats. After the first 10 turns, he is gonna one-shot your first team and you are gonna go on your second team. But he is gonna remain at 10 turns, so he's gonna have more stats. And if your second team or your third team is weaker than the previous ones, you are gonna deal less damage. Second important thing, the boss is gonna lower your attack, your skill damage and basic attack damage by a ton after using the first active skill. So you want to use a hero who can cleanse your heroes or prevent them from taking debuffs, such as Nordak, who can apply a block debuff for 2 turns on your heroes. He's gonna deal damage through the damage immunity, so it doesn't count to have damage immunity on your heroes, and he can lower the shield effect on your heroes by 40% after using the ultimate. He will reduce the defense of your heroes, so it's useless to use heroes who scales on defense, such as Chardonnel, for example, or Indra, because he's gonna have 1 defense only during the fight. So it's not a good idea to use your Indra neither. The boss has 95% crit rate and 50% crit damage, so if you can lower his crit rate and crit damage, you are gonna take way less damage during the run. Every time you kill 1 time the boss, he's gonna increase his attack by 50%, defense by 50%, crit damage, effect hit resistance by 8%, and HP by 300. So if you want to use HP burning heroes, it's smarter in my opinion to use them in your last team. The boss is gonna have more health, and your HP burning layers are gonna deal more damage at once on the boss. My first team and my second team are almost equivalent in terms of damage. I'm using Ben Austin to make my heroes pursuit, and the main source of damage is gonna come from my Sun Wukong, and then my Nordak. Yes, they deal more damage than my Agatha, so maybe in the future, in fact, I just have to switch my Agatha for someone else. I'm gonna have more health on my heroes thanks to both my Nordak and my Sun Wukong, and they scale their damage over their HP, so that's pretty cool. More damage on my heroes thanks to Beatrix, and I'm using that Spirit Beast just to deal a bit more damage to the boss. I'm not using Poisoners, but it deals a bit of damage, so why not? On the second team, Jingle Bell is my main damage dealer. I'm gonna use Engi 3 to increase a bit the damage of my team, Rista to increase the attack and crit damage of my Jingle Bell, Nicholas to heal my heroes, shield them, and to increase the damage of my heroes and their speed, and finally Esther to increase the turn meter and the damage of my Jingle Bell, and reduce her cooldowns as well. I have nobody to cleanse in that team, so maybe I'm losing a ton of damage. I think in the future I'm gonna try something else. And on the last team, yes, I'm using Dianmu. I have a ton of turn meter increase thanks to her. She can cleanse my heroes, and so she is a good hero for that, but maybe I have a better option in the future. I have to try more stuff. Chelsea to increase my burning damage and deal a lot of burn damage as well. Little Jack to lower the attack of the boss by 40% and deal high burn damage and increase the mastery of my Chelsea as well. Jack and Roll to give extra turns to my heroes, increase their speed. Yeah, Dianmu can also increase the speed of my heroes though. And he is also gonna increase the damage of my heroes and deal a lot of burn damage by his own. And finally Lydia to lower the cooldowns of my heroes, protect them with the permanent consolidation too, and that's pretty all. The Prior Beast to protect that team because it's a bit weaker than the previous ones, and it's gonna be pretty nice. I'm just gonna jump on the results. By the way, I need to focus on my Agatha in the future because for now, she doesn't have any aura at all and her gear is not the best to use on her, in fact. So I have many things to increase her damage, and in the future I can have, of course, better than that. And there we go, 703 million damage with the first team. So now, second team, as you can see, 10 turns on the boss and he had the HP remaining. In that team, apparently, it's really nice to use both Annie and Dez when they are exclusive 3, so maybe in the future I'm gonna focus on them to try to have a better score using that team. Instead of Rista and Engi 3, probably it's gonna do a difference. As you can see for now, it's not that hard to survive, right? But it's gonna be different on the third wave. Yeah, and look at that. I had attack down 40% and cold 2 on my Jingle Bell, so imagine the damage difference. I need to use a cleanser in that team, maybe instead of Engi 3, who knows? It would probably be better. And there we go, that's my score using that team, 815 million, a bit better than the first team. Because remember that the boss has more defense than before. And finally the third team, I'm gonna have a really high damage on that one. I don't know though if I can survive without the Prior Beast. Yeah, look at that. 2 turns, 215 million damage already. But look at the health of my heroes. Hopefully I have the Prior Beast to heal me. This is the only healer I have in the team. And I have the damage immunity of my Jack and Roll, which can proc sometimes to save the ass of one of my hero. Yeah, look at all the heals and the shields I'm getting thanks to the Prior Beast. And if you want to know, I spent 200 euros to obtain it. 1 star only. I wasn't lucky on the wheel though. I had to reach the guarantee all the time, so if you can obtain it at least once, I think you need to spend something like 70 euros if you want to obtain it once, or be really lucky. It's gonna help you a lot. Look at that. So many heals and shields. I almost lost my Chelsea, but she had the damage immunity of my Jack and Roll, so in fact he saved her. Only 2 turns left, pretty high score already. And there we go, another ultimate, 1873. So that's the final result. 703 million with the first team, 815 using the second team, and with the last one, 1873. For a total of 3,400 almost. So now I'm gonna try more stuff on the ultimate trial and the exploration, and I'm gonna try to give you more tips, more teams to increase your score everywhere. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's the case, as always, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Have a nice day and see you in the next one. Bye bye.